Okay, thank you for joining us. This is Commissioner Ralph Hoelscher, County Commissioner, Precinct 1. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Lillian, would you like to begin with the questions?
Thank you. Mr. Hoelscher, with the downturn of the oil field, where is the county going to get the funds for county road maintenance and repair?
County road maintenance, we get money from the vehicle registration. That is designated money to go to road work. But we're also taking some from the general revenue.
Thank you.
With the state buying up a lot of the local road material, but where's Tom Green County going to get its future road material? You see any?
Well, that is a problem. We did not have a single bid come in this year, and so we're having to go out and purchase. That's additional expense, additional freight, additional cost, less road work.
What do you consider to be the utmost important aspect of the county commissioner's job?
The budget's very important, to set the budget, and each commissioner is responsible for his roads.
Thank you.
Well, we've already talked about it a little. The oil field boom is over for now, as it has been before. Of course, we have some problems with our county roads. A lot of them are a mess, and still the county's planning to build a new jail while our roads still remain somewhat the same. Where's that money gonna come from to build the jail?
Well, on the jail issue, our prison jail has been condemned for nearly 2 years now because of structural damage. It's been built in 3 different stages, 3 different age frames. 2 stages been condemned, 1 stage can still be used, and we plan to use it, continue using it. The front section, all of that will still stay. That will not be destroyed. In fact, we don't plan to destroy anything right now. The State Jail Standards Commission has condemned this jail, and we've literally drug it out as long as we can to try to get plans drawn up for a new jail. So we're going to build it now on property we own east of town, just right next to the Roy Robb Center. To build downtown, to completely take all of that down, the jail, start back over, architects figured as a price of $95 million. Taxpayers can't handle that. The site that we selected and the plan we're working on now with the architects is somewhere in the neighborhood of $45 million. So that's, right, half the cost. I know everybody's concerned about the cost that it would take to transfer prisoners back and forth to the courthouse. Well, we've definitely thought about building the courtrooms at the jail, which makes good sense. Why don't we do that? I asked that over and over. The judge is not interested. So maybe we need to be talking to the judges to see if they wouldn't come out. That way we don't have to move the prisoners. It's safer. You don't have the expense. And it's something we're definitely looking at, but we have to have the cooperation of the judges to do that. In regard to roads, well, now there's 2 different issues we're dealing with here. You asked me why I built a jail instead of doing road work. We have to build a jail. We're required by state law to have the jail. And the present jail's been condemned. If we were to try to build downtown, what would we do with the prisoners is a big question. It takes 3 to 4 years to build jail. We would have to take them to other counties, pay the the cost of transport, pay the housing, bring them back here to court, take them back to the other counties. When we had the huge population explosion here, our jail was full. We was hauling them to neighboring counties. We was going as far as Amarillo, Porter County, up in Randall County, hauling our prisoners. That's a tremendous expense. But we don't have any choice. We have to build a jail. The state, the county government operates under state law. We are a branch of state, of the state government. And we are definitely required to maintain a jail. We only have to, like I mentioned before, we're only required to pay the salary of the sheriff. Think about that just a little. We need more law enforcement, not less. And we definitely will have to build a jail. And we'll be having to build 2 additional courtrooms. And once we finish the renovation of the Keys building on the 2nd floor, we'll be able to bring 2 big departments out. One is the treasurer and one is the auditor out of the courthouse, and put them in the Keys building, plus other departments, and we'll have all the business departments in the Keys building, with the commissioner's court. And those 2 departments, once they're moved out of the courthouse, then we'll be able to take those 2 big areas and renovate them into 2 new courtrooms, because we got 2 new judges now. We need additional court space to handle these cases, process them quicker. Hopefully I answered your question. Road work, we definitely continue to do road work. And we do have good roads in Tom Green County. Don't believe me, go to the neighboring counties.
Many projects seem to be considered based on availability of federal funds. So what are your thoughts or comments on applying for and receiving federal funds?
I don't know what you're referring to as far as the federal funds.
Well,
We apply for grants and stuff all the time. We may get some, but they're not all granted to us. But what are you referring to as far as federal grants? Or?
yeah, I guess my concern is, applying, say the county, applying to fund a project with federal money when perhaps it might not be as viable a project for the community. I was saying, do you think that there would ever be a time where there would be more weight given to the fact that there were federal funds available versus what was in the best interest of the community?
If there's federal funds available, come visit with us. I mean, we'll certainly go after them, and we're going after the state funds too, but see, so much of our county operation is mandated. Over 70% is state mandated and federal mandated. We have to fund those departments. And that's all the courts and everything. We're looking at those court-appointed attorneys. For those that say they cannot hire an attorney, we have to appoint attorneys. We spend millions of dollars. That's taxpayer money. Millions of dollars.
Well, we'll just kind of continue on that. Due to budget constraints at every level of government, we're all short of money at every level. And since cuts are gonna have to be made at some point in areas, what do you feel that the most important function of the county government is?
Like I've mentioned before, over 70% is mandated, we have to fund that. The other areas that you could cut is the library. But let's think about that just a little. We built a new library. It was built by money contributed from individuals. There's been an endowment fund set up for its operation. So we better be careful if we try to touch that one to close that library. I don't think we should even think about that one. The next area is Sheriff's Department. We're only required to pay salary to sheriff. You want us to let the rest of the officers off or reduce them by 50%? Come in and visit with us during budget session. We welcome each and every one, everybody. We'd like to have that room packed full and go for a larger room during budget. I mean, that we explain to people what's going on and what we're doing and let them have input. We definitely looking for input. But I don't think we want to touch the sheriff's department. And then you got this little area of parks. It's one man and inmates. It's not a real big expense. You can't cut much there. And then it comes back down to roads. And usually when you have to balance that budget, when it's so close, the roads is the ones that's gonna take the cut. And that just puts us further behind on our road work. But those are the areas to cut. We asked the state mandated department, like the courts and all of that, to tighten up on their budget, but we're required by state law to fund it. If we don't, well, commissioners and the judges in big time trouble with the state.
Okay, so now a different aspect here. It's being said our country is in a spiritual identity crisis from the invasion of Islam infiltrating our core belief systems and our foundational principles that are based upon God and the Bible and our Constitution. Our president proclaims he is a Christian leader, but his fruit reveals he isn't seeking the God our country was founded upon. And the consequences we face now is that our nation stands to lose its Christian identity. The spiritual relationships of our elected leaders heavily affect our nation and which direction our nation's going to turn in this next election process. So my question to you is, how much would God and the Bible affect your leadership role within the county commissioner's court in standing for God's righteousness within our community?
We definitely pray before each meeting, and we want to continue to be able to pray before each meeting. God is part of our world, and we'll do everything we can to keep it religion going, freedom of religion. But I don't know what we can do from the county level, but I hope I answered your question.
You did. Thank you.
Didn't, we'll ask for more.
And one more question here. How can you, as the commissioners, work to unravel all the red tape and bureaucracy, lower the taxes, and then what's your primary goal?
What we could do at the federal level or state level, or
Well, you have to work within your own bounds here, so I don't know what we can do locally, but certainly you have your own ideas.
I'm always for reducing taxes any way we can. And I don't know if I completely answered your question on the jail. We do have the money on the jail for construction, and we did not raise tax rate. The tax rate will not be raised on that. And we'll do everything we can to keep the tax rate as low as possible. But we still want to maintain the services. And so many of our services are mandated by the state, and we have to continue to do those services because county government is a branch of state government. And we're required by state law to operate under a balanced budget. I just wish the federal government would follow our example.
I'd like to invite you to give us a closing statement if you'd like.
Well, one thing I can say is the area I represent, I don't know how certain on that. I have the northeast sector of Tom Green County, which is the rural areas of Moretta and very best, Harriet, and I have a large portion of the city of San Angelo, starting at Foster Street and coming on around on the east side, everything up to Bryant, and going all the way north into 28th Street where the television station is. And then I head on west again to Howard Street. So I have a huge area of the city that I represent. I've been married to my wife Noemi for 48 years. We have 2 children, 3 grandsons. One of them's going to be married here in a couple of weeks, which is a big event that we're looking forward to. And again, like I've mentioned earlier, county government is part of state government, and some of the big achievements that I've had a big part in while I've been in office the last 11 years, going on 12, is building a new library. And again, that was built with contributions from the public and endowment fund set up for operation. Another area that I'm really proud of now, when I first came into office, took me on a tour of all the departments, and their record storage and management system was terrible. It was in boxes, in closets, stacked along the walls, stacked in the halls, just everywhere. And I kept asking, I said, how do y'all find anything? They said, well, it takes us time to research. And we're talking about courts and attorneys and all of that. I said, man, no wonder it takes so long because you got to look through all these boxes to find something. I said, what we need is a record storage management and a manager. So the Commissioner's Court was going to do an extension to the library, but they were going to do it in the basement of Keys building. And I saw that to be a mistake, and that's why I had the big push to have it built at the Henry Wells building. And then I said the basement of the Keys building is a perfect place for record storage and management. It's a secure place, it's climate controlled. And we do now have that in place. It's a big area that's chain link fenced, and we got a manager in there. Every person that comes in, they check in and out, and any papers that come in, anything that goes out is all recorded, and everything is in a computer. And then he's responsible also for shredding the documents when they're allowed, the department allows them to shred. At least we've got a good system now for record storage and management, and it's working beautiful. We've renovated the old Walmart building down on North Bryant for adult probation and Justice of the Peace, number 3, Fred Buck is out there. and it'd be used for other departments. And right now, we're renovating the Keys building. We finished the first floor. We moved elections and vehicle registration down to that first floor so people don't have to climb those stairs. And it makes for better service. And we're working on the second floor now. And like I say, we will be moving the treasurer and auditor, and then be doing some work in the courthouse with 2 new courtrooms, and we're building a new jail. And I'd like to continue serving in office for at least another 4 years to see these projects through to completion and continue to represent the people of Precinct 1.
All right. We thank you so much for your time today. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.